The hour of 7 o'clock having arrived, I'll call the council to order. Let the roll reflect that all council members are in attendance, with the exception of council members Schultz and Balsanic. A quorum has been established. Tonight, we're going to begin our meeting with a proclamation designating May 14th as Richard Dick Collins Day. I received word last week that Mr. Collins had passed away. He was a council member for the city of Hastings during the 1970s. I met him a few times, and I remember, actually, I remember he called me one time for a constituent concern when he was no longer on the council. He was a outstanding council member. He was someone who cherished being from Hastings. He loved Hastings. He was very impactful as a council member when he served in the 1970s. And so we thought it'd be fitting that we'd have a proclamation in Dick's honor, designated May 14th as Dick Collins Day in the city of Hastings. May 14th is when they're going to have a remembrance service for Dick on the 14th. So I would like the council to take the opportunity. Let's read the proclamation. Then I'm going to ask everyone to stand for a moment of silence in Dick's honor. Councilmember Vaughn, would you please start us out?
Whereas Hastings resident Richard Dick Collins dedicated much of his career to serving the city of Hastings, and
whereas Richard graduated from Hastings High School with the class of 1955, and
whereas Richard served as a member of Company D of the Hastings National Guard Unit during the 1950s, and
whereas Richard served on the Hastings City Council from 1971 to 1974 and again in 1977 to 1980 as a council member, and
whereas Richard's contributions to the city were remarkable, including the creation of the city administrator position, the Veterans Home and land swap for the industrial park Land for $1, started renovation and improvements to the parking lot east of the American Legion for the overall revitalization of riverfront and levee areas in downtown Hastings, and signed the contract to design, build, and use the Hastings Ice Arena, and
whereas during his tenure, Richard Dick Collins provided outstanding leadership, integrity, and professionalism in support of changing needs of the community of Hastings, and
whereas Richard will be remembered for his dedication and commitment to the city of Hastings and to the community at large.
Therefore, be it resolved, I, Paul Hicks, Mayor of the City of Hastings, do hereby recognize and declare May 14, 2016 as Richard Dick Collins Day, in gratitude for his many years of commendable service and contributions to the city of Hastings. If I can ask all to rise for a moment of silence in Dick's honor. Thank you. Next, we are blessed to have Amy Deaver here to give us a presentation, an update to the Leduc Mansion. We're going to have another exciting year at the Leduc Mansion.
Yes.
It's great to see you here, because when you're here, it's usually May, talking about a great season ahead and the terrific things happening at Leduc. So welcome,
Always.
Amy.
Well, thank you.
Turn it over to you.
Well, thank you for having me. And I have to thank you all for your continued generosity to the Leduc. You probably are all aware that we have had the wood roof okayed for the site, and so next year that will be quite a project. We will be getting a new roof. That's probably the biggest thing that's going on at the Leduc, as much as most of our visitors don't really know it's going on. But yeah, so that's a really a huge thing, and thank you for all the work that you do to make things possible at the site. This week, actually, we have our volunteer orientation coming up, and for those of you who are familiar with the Leduc, without our volunteers, we would be nothing. We have a staff of about 3 people, and me being one of them. And so we have hundreds of volunteers. The gardeners are back at the site right now, getting that in shape. And so this Saturday at 10 o'clock and next Thursday at the 12th at 7 o'clock, we're having volunteer orientation. And I'm sure all of our volunteers will be coming back, but any new volunteers, we always love new blood. So we're looking forward to meeting some new people this next week. We're also celebrating Screen Free Week at the Leduc, as I have been wanting to promote this for many, many years. And this is a national organization. an opportunity to turn off our screens and our TVs. And the Leducs only had, screens in their windows. So I thought that if anybody should support this, the Leduc should. And so, yes, we just had Photography Day, which also happened to coincide with Minnesota History Day just yesterday. Tuesday, we're inviting people to come and picnic on the grounds, so hopefully we'll have great weather. We're going to have bocce ball and I'm trying to remember, croquet, I believe, is what we're going to have available for people. On Thursday, we have a needleworking group meeting and a writers group meeting. Saturday, we're celebrating the chickens returning to the place. They're actually, I have to admit, they're already there, but they're hidden, they're little, so they're behind a shed, in the coop. But we're going to be doing something with the kids. We're going to have a story hour and get the chickens in people's hands. And so we've already been handling the chickens so they're ready for the exposure to the vast public. So yeah, we're kind of excited about this coming week. And we always just, we love to see our volunteers back at the site. As much as we have events all through the year, as soon as we open for tours on May 26th on Thursday, the whole place kind of opens up again, so that's exciting. Another thing we have going on is last year, if you recall, we had 4 Eagle Scout projects on site. This year, hopefully, we won't, because they were they were wonderful, but they are a lot of work, Eagle Scout projects. And this year, so far, I've only had 1 Eagle Scout approach me, and so that's Carter Hinderscheid, for those of you who know the Hinderscheid family. And so I believe he will be making some bird houses and bat houses. We're trying to encourage the bats to stay outside of the house. Because of brown bats, it's illegal to kill brown bats, and yet when they fly around during art shows, it's inappropriate. So we're going to try to get them outside. Yes, yes. Another exciting thing that just happened at the house in the last 6 months is we have, and you probably are aware of this program, Experience Works is a program that was set up 50 years ago by Lyndon B. Johnson. And we have 2 Experience Works employees. It was started out to help basically the troubled farm industry. They called it Green Thumbs when it started out, but now it's called Experience Works, and so we have 2 veterans that are at the site right now on a regular basis. So we have them about 3 days a week. And really wonderful, wonderful guys, and we're getting a lot of extra work done at the house, so that's always helpful. As far as big events that are coming up, we have the Mother's Day tea is coming up this Sunday. We actually have 2 other private teas this May. We are going to be teed out by about May 31st. We're still doing tastings. In fact, now we're getting into a groove. We're going to do 4 tastings, 4 teas a year. The next tasting we're going to do microbrew. I don't drink beer, I drink scotch. Doing scotch was easier for me, but I hear there's many people who are out there willing to help me, so we're going to do microbrew in July. So that'll be a fun new thing to try at the site. We're going to do summer camps again. We're going to do one for the girls, one for the boys. We're separating them out this year. Going to go a little more boyish for the guys, and we're actually going to work on cursive with the girls. There's a lot in the schools now, they don't teach cursive. And there's a lot of girls out there who really would love to know how to sign their name in cursive. And so we're going to help with that. Rivertown Days, we're hosting the art fair again. The chamber has been over there measuring the grounds, and apparently they're going to try to put even more booths on the site. So that's a very exciting weekend. We have a lot of people at the site on that weekend. We are going to continue the concerts in the orchard. However, the Hastings Concert Association did not feel that they could continue to carry them, and so now they will be hosted by the Leduc proper. And we're going to try to make it a little more historic because, darn it, we're a historic site. That's what we do. We teach history. So we're going to be popping that up a little bit. So we already have 4 great concerts planned. And, of course, pie. You can't have our orchard concerts without pie. So we will continue to do that. I was hoping to do it this year, but we're not going to be able to because the path isn't going to be done. You probably know about the path that they're connecting finally over by the Vets Home. And unfortunately, it's not going to be done until the end of October because I was talking to Chris Jenkins and City Works guy. It was Nick. Yeah. Yeah, and so they were basically saying that path isn't going to be done until the end of October, a little too cold. And so in the spring, we're going to be doing a pedestrianism event. During the Victorian era. Is that like a beep for Amy to quit?
No.
Okay, because just, like,
It's an automatic hook that comes off the wall.
Okay, good.
But you've
Oh,
still got plenty of time.
Got plenty of time, okay.
Plenty of time.
During the Victorian era, pedestrianism was the precursor to race walking, and so we're going to basically showcase that new path, and we're going to talk about Victorian pedestrianism in the spring, probably in April. Other than that, we have 2 websites now that we support, dakotahistory.org. We have our own website at the Leduc, leduchistoricestate.org, and our Facebook page, and so we really invite people to connect with us. We're having a ball at the Leduc. I have like one of the best jobs in the world. So thank you. Thank you for all your support. And if you have any questions I can answer, I'd be happy to. Otherwise, I'll show up again in a couple months and regale you with more tales of chickens.
Council, is there any questions that you have for Amy?
All right.
Is there the planning of the Civil War weekend, the second weekend of September still
yes.
being planned?
September 10th and 11th, and it's funny, now I'm getting all these dates in my head. And we are celebrating 1866 this year. Now, some people have said, well, but the war was over, and that's true. But I learned so much of my job. So in that era, you had the Grand Army of the Republic, and so people were celebrating the end of the war. So we'll be talking about veterans, and we'll be talking a lot about medical breakthroughs that happened right after the Civil War. And I think we're going to be having watermelon seed spitting competitions and apple peeling competitions are 2 of the favorite things I'm thinking about doing. But yeah, we're definitely
I'm really
gonna be
pleased
doing
to
it
see a
again.
lot of the events that take place there, particularly like during Rivertown Days. One of the things I think is important that this is a city asset, the Leduc
Absolutely.
Mansion. And whenever we have the opportunity to have the general public be there and be on the grounds and say, you know what, I'm going to be here I am going to take a tour of that house. I'm going to find out what it's all about. Whenever we have that opportunity, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah.
And so,
And you know, we really welcome people. You know, we've opened the gates now, and people should be on those grounds. They're beautiful, you know. And soon enough, the chickens will be outside, and people can even sit there and watch the chickens while they eat their shakes from across the street at the creamery. But right now, it's still beautiful. So. But
okay.
thank you so much
Amy.
for having me.
Appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. We appreciate the update. Okay, Council, we have before us the minutes of the regular meeting on April 18th of 2016, and any additions or corrections to the minutes of that meeting? Okay, seeing none, they stand approved. Council items to be considered. Melanie?
Your Honor and Council, we have 2 items that, from a staff perspective, we would recommend being placed on consent agenda. The first item is a temporary 1-day gambling permit for Hastings Ducks Unlimited on May 18th. And the second item is a fireworks license for the Target store. We would recommend, again, that those be considered for consent agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to consent agenda. Council, is there a motion to amend the consent agenda, include those 2 items? Councilmember Brox makes that motion, seconded by Councilmember Nelson. That motion is before us. Is there any discussion to that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. That motion prevails. We have the consent agenda before us as amended. Council, what you wish? Councilmember Balsanic makes a motion to approve, seconded by Councilmember Alonji. That motion is now before the body. Is there any discussion to that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of that motion, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion prevails. Next, we'll go to awarding of contracts, a public hearing. We have a public hearing tonight to amend City Code, Chapter 34, in relation to the Rotary Pavilion damage deposit. Melanie?
Your Honor and Council, you're asked tonight to hold a public hearing and consider a new fee for a damage deposit for the Rotary Pavilion. This was an oversight when we established the fees a few meetings ago. Staff has not heard any comments about the proposed fees, but I'd be happy to stand for any questions.
Okay, I will open the public hearing. Is there anyone here who would like to speak to Rotary Pavilion damage deposit? Ben, any thoughts on that?
I will stand here.
Okay. All right, I will close the public hearing. Council, what's your wish? Councilmember Balsanic makes a motion to approve, second by Councilmember Alonji. That motion is before the body. Is there discussion to the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion prevails. Next, we have a public hearing in regards to amending the city code, Chapter 158.04B, parking and storage of vehicles. John, welcome to the meeting. We're very glad to have you here.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council members. What we have before you is an amendment to
our property maintenance ordinance related to parking of vehicles. When we had made some amendments to this code about 2, 3, 4 years ago, we inadvertently left out a couple of zoning districts. The R1L zoning district, which is a small district along Red Wing Boulevard south of 33rd Street, and the R6 district, which is Three Rivers Mobile Home Park. So what we're proposing to do tonight is to add the applicability of the ordinance to those districts with the amendment before you. We did have the first reading of this at the April 18th meeting, and we have not heard any information or any questions from the public relating to this. So I can stand for any questions, or you can open the public hearing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, John. I will open the public hearing. Is there anyone here who would like to speak to that particular issue? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Council, this issue is before us. Councilmember Langi? I thought you had your hand up. Okay, okay. Okay, absolutely. Would you make a motion to it? I do make a motion. Councilmember Langi makes a motion to approve. Is there a second to that motion? Second by Councilmember Brox. That motion is before the body. Is there any discussion to that motion? Councilmember Balsanic.
Yes, a question for John. Was this brought up because of the business that, I can't think of the name of it, that is wanting to come into the industrial park? Crazy something, or?
Oh, sure. No, actually, this was brought up by our code enforcement officer when she was going through a complaint call, realized that this, the complaint that she was taking was not found within our code.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Is there any other further discussion to the motion? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor of the motion say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion prevails. Next, we go to comments from the audience. Is there any comments tonight from the audience? If not, council announcements. Announcements? Councilmember Nelson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just to let everybody know, there's a meeting on Wednesday. Maybe I'm jumping the gun here, I don't know. Meeting on Wednesday, Joint Powers meeting at 7:30 in the morning at Tilden Community Center. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you for that announcement. Councilmember Balsanic.
Yes, Mayor. First of all, just a couple of things. First of all, I cannot attend that meeting, even though I am on the Joint Powers Committee. I'll be leaving for a national bowling tournament Wednesday, and hope to come back with a trophy as big as my SUV.
Or your bowling score.
Yeah, and still be back on Sunday, which is Mother's Day, in time to help celebrate with my wonderful wife of 47 years.
47.
Yes.
Or else you
so
might
that
get
we,
a bruise as big as your SUV.
yes. You're all required to remember how many years we've been married, in addition to what the cost of repairing my sprinkler system was.
I was just going to ask you, how old is that sprinkler system now?
8 years ago.
Okay.
46.
All right.
6,000.
Yeah. The second thing is, I from my heart, I want to thank everyone. First of all, our EMS crew that handled an emergency with me last week. I'm not sure if that many EMS personnel show up for every emergency, or whether they all showed up because they knew I was on the city council. But it was very heartening to have the wonderful expertise of the crew. And I do want to thank the public. I have received so many emails and cards from people wishing me well, and I am fine now. I'm not going to get into the details on everything, but I did lose my voice for 4 days. Fortunately, I got it back just in time for the council meeting.
I bet Bessie was kind of happy for a
Yeah,
few
she
days.
was, as a matter of fact. And secondly, in addition to losing my voice, I did lose 7 pounds. But I would not recommend to anybody that you lose 7 pounds the way that I did. But again, thank you so much for all of the very warm regards from everyone, including the members of the council and the city staff. It's very good to be back.
Well, Councilmember, I'll just say that we're very glad to have you back, nice and healthy, and getting your voice back. Your voice is important. All of our voices here are important. representing the people of our city, and we're just pleased to know that you're going to be fine, and we're thankful that everything's okay. Is there any other announcements? Any other announcements? Okay, I just have a few more announcements. This Saturday on May 7th is the annual Parks and Trails Cleanup Day at Vermilion Falls Park from 9 to noon. And so this Saturday is the annual Parks and Trails Cleanup Day. On Monday, May 9th, the Planning Commission has scheduled a meeting here at 7 p.m. at City Hall. Tuesday, May 10th, the Parks and Recreation Commission will be meeting at 6 o'clock at the Joint Maintenance Facility at 920 West 10th Street. Wednesday, May 11th, which is also Statehood Day, we'll have to throw that one in there, is the Planning Committee of the City Council. We'll be meeting Chair Alonji with Council Members Brox and Vaughn. We'll be there at 7:30 a.m. on May 11th to discuss proposals by ArtSpace. On Thursday, May 12th, Hedrow will be meeting at 6:30 at City Hall. Monday, May 16th is our next scheduled City Council meeting here at City Hall at 7 p.m. On Tuesday, May 17th, that week will be a fun week. Many will recall last year was a lot of fun as the Police Week Open House, where the police station is opened up for an open house for people to come and learn more about our police department. That's going to go from 4 to 7 p.m. on Tuesday, May 17th. I think the street right here on Sibley Street will be closed for that event and to celebrate Police Week. And so the open house again is 4 to 7 p.m. on Tuesday, May 17th, here down at City Hall on Sibley Street. The HPC will also be meeting that night at City Hall at 7 p.m. And then I just want to remind everyone, we'll be doing this tonight and at the next council meeting, that on May 26th, Thursday, May 26th, from 4 to 8 p.m., will be the ribbon cutting for the Levy Park reopening on that Thursday. We'll have entertainment, we'll have food, we'll have fun for the whole family. We have also created text alerts for 2016 Rotary Pavilion activities, so you can sign up for text notices for upcoming events, including movies, music, art, or fitness in the park. Our website has instructions on how to sign up. So everyone, put that on your calendar throughout the community. On that Thursday, May 26th, from 4 to 8 p.m., we'll rededicate that pavilion, and we're going to have a great time that evening. And my brother's band is playing, I think. I heard that. Bridgeport. So, Lori, I think you owe me one dance. Okay? So, but you pick the song. Okay? I'll do that. Yeah, Purple Rain. There you go. I don't know. I'll have to ask him if he knows that one. Council, there's no further items before us this evening. A motion to adjourn is in order. Councilmember Brox makes that motion to adjourn, second by Councilmember Nelson. All those in favor of that motion say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The motion prevails. We are adjourned. Thank you.